morning, everybody. Unless, of course, you're watching this video in the evening. In that case, good evening. And you are watching Time Travel TV. And today, we're going to talk about Jesus Christ. Now, we're not going to talk about him much from a religious perspective, more from a historical perspective, because he's very important in history. And we're going to be asking, what was he like? Was he like this?
He lives in darkness. And as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world.
Or was he more like this?
Jesus Christ, superstar, do you think you're what they say you are?
Or was he a little bit more like this?
Now you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now go away.
So there we have it. Was he the Messiah? Was he a superstar? Or was he just a very naughty boy? Did Robert Powell get it right? Did Andrew Lloyd Webber get it right? Or did Monty Python's Flying Circus get it right? We just don't know, but we're going to try and find out in this video by explaining Jesus' life story. Remember, we're looking at it from not a religious point of view, from a historical point of view. There are other videos that will do it from a religious point of view for you. So, let's have a see. Now, Jesus born in the year 0. I'm not going to tell you much about the nativity play, apart from the fact angel came down, told Mary she was having a baby with the Holy Spirit. Joseph freaked out. Angel explained to Joseph. Joseph said that's okay. Went to Bethlehem for the census. No room in the inn. All that stuff. Baby born. Herod got cross. Had to escape to Egypt. They came back when Herod died. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to insult your intelligence. You all know that stuff. Anyway, so we don't know anything about Jesus' childhood, apart from the fact that, well, we don't know. We know he was a carpenter, although it's more likely he did building work. Many think that he went to Britain for a while. If he did, it wasn't for very long, and it's a bit of a long shot anyway. I'm not sure. Maybe he did. It'd be pretty cool if he did. Anyway. So, whether he did or not is another matter, but the Bible picks him up around a bit older, when he started giving his religious message. Now, Jesus was Jewish, and the Old Testament, which is what the Jewish look at, is very fire and damnation sort of thing. Very sort of, like, parting of the waves sort of thing, if you know what I mean. It's sort of very, like those 1950s epic films, if you know what I mean. And there's a lot of eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, life for a life in there. Jesus, on the other hand, gave a much more mellow message. He said, for instance, he even said, the Old Testament says an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, life for life. I say turn the other cheek, he says. So this gets very popular, this view, and he gets lots of followers. Not people who follow him around randomly, I understand. People who listen to him. He got 12 disciples, who I can't remember all their names. But Matthew, Mark, Luke and John are the most important, and Judas becomes pretty important too at the end. Anyway, so what happened is that one of the most famous sermons he gave was a Sermon on the Mount, where he said things like, blessed are the meek, and that sort of stuff. Anyway, so he knew the dangers of going to Jerusalem because the Jewish elders hated him in Jerusalem. He knew the dangers, but he went there anyway with all his friends. And what happened was, on the Last Supper, he said, now one of you are going to betray me. And then Judas in the corner saying, oh, I hope it's not going to be me. And it turned out it was. While they were all sleeping, he goes and betrayed them for some money, although he kind of regretted it later on. Anyway, Jesus was crucified, he was tried, the Romans said, okay, set free the murderer or set free Jesus, which one do you want? And they all said, set free the murderer. So they said, okay, well, set free the murderer, we're going to crucify the King of the Jews, because that's what they called him back then. And did you see that little sign above the cross? The initials, that stands for King of the Jews. Anyway, so, he was crucified, and the only people who were allowed to go there were the women, because the disciples weren't allowed to go there. Mary Magdalene was most famous because she also found, when she went to tend the grave, there Jesus wasn't. He disappeared. Poof. Anyway, so what happened then? Well, Jesus walked around a bit. he, after he rose from the dead, he made a couple of blind men walk, some lame men see. No, sorry, the other way round. Some lame men walk and blind men see. Anyway, then he went back to disciples, and they went, ah! The disciples went just like that, ah! And he said, it's okay, I've risen from the dead, as if that's going to make anything better, as if that's completely normal. And they said, it's okay, touch my wounds. So they said, you are alive, hooray! Like that, hooray! And then he said, he spent some time with the mucking around with his old mates again, like old times, and he said, okay, now you go around everywhere, around all the world, and tell them my message. And they said, are you going anywhere then? Yes, I'm rising to heaven. And he rose, just like that. Clever, isn't it? Anyway, so that was the end of Jesus. Well, not the end of Jesus, because people have analysed him to death ever since then, pardon the expression. Anyway, so what was Jesus? Was he the Messiah? Was he a superstar? Or was he just a very naughty boy? Well, I can tell you the answer to that. It doesn't matter. Because regardless of whether he was the Messiah or not, he has impacted history so much. He is, without a doubt, the most influential person in the history of the world. Maybe Muhammad might be second, and that's Muslim Muhammad, by the way, not just a random Muhammad. Muhammad might be second, but Jesus is without doubt the most influential person in shaping the history of the world. So it doesn't matter whether he is a Messiah or not, because he was just so important anyway. And that's all we have time for. Ooh. I don't think it is. If any of you are feeling a bit, if you need to be cheered up, I think you should watch this.
Always look on the bright side.